You know the feeling, that dripping faucet that keeps you up at night, the drain that takes forever, the water heater that decides to call it quits on the coldest day of the year. We've all been there, right? We blame old pipes, bad luck. But what if the real problem isn't in your house at all? What if it's something way bigger, hiding right under your feet? Well, today, we're going to uncover your plumbing's secret enemy. See, there's this invisible force working against your home's plumbing system, day in and day out. It's the reason some problems seem to come back, no matter how many times you think you fixed them. And it's probably not what you're thinking.
I mean, really think about it. Is there that one sink that clogs up every few months? Or a shower that just loses its water pressure out of nowhere? It's the super frustrating cycle, and I can really feel like you're just pouring money down the drain, literally.
And these are always the things we focus on, right? The usual suspects. We get the plumber out to fix the leak, to snake the drain, and we treat each one like a separate, isolated incident. But as we're about to see, these are often just symptoms of a much bigger issue. Now here's the big twist in the story. We spend all our time and energy looking at the pipes and fixtures inside our walls. But what if the real source of all these chronic headaches is actually outside your door, in the very ground your house is built on? So let's get specific and see this in action. We're going to use Georgetown, Texas as a perfect case study to see how the local geology can wage a secret war on your plumbing. This is a fantastic example of how your specific environment can be your home's biggest challenge. Okay, just look at this comparison. On the left, you've got pretty typical conditions you might find anywhere. But on the right, well, Georgetown is a whole different story. The water there filters through limestone, which makes it packed with minerals. We call this very hard water. On top of that, the ground is made of this expansive clay soil, which basically acts like a giant sponge. It swells up when it's wet and shrinks when it's dry. That combination creates a uniquely hostile environment for your plumbing. So how does this hostile environment actually translate into damage? Well, it doesn't just cause random little issues. It leads to a very specific set of failures. Let's break down the most common disasters that come directly from this geological 1-2 punch. First on the list, hard water damage. And believe me, this is way more than just that annoying white film on your glass shower door. This is like the slow, steady hardening of your plumbing's arteries. All those dissolved minerals from the limestone bedrock start building up as a rock-hard scale inside everything the water touches. So you get this direct chain reaction. The limestone bedrock creates mineral-rich water. That water creates scale buildup. And that scale literally chokes the life out of your water pressure, clogs up your faucets, and puts so much stress on your appliances that they can fail years, and I mean years, before they're supposed to. And that leads us right to our second major failure, the water heater. This is often the most expensive victim of hard water. It's not just bad luck that water heaters die early in places like this. There's a very specific destructive process at play. Here's how it goes down. All those minerals in the water settle at the bottom of the tank, creating this thick layer of gunk, of sediment. That sediment acts like an insulator, forcing the heating element to work way, way harder just to heat the water above it. All that extra stress and heat corrodes the tank from the inside until, one day, you have a massive leak. All right, let's switch gears now from water chemistry to just pure brute force. Sewer line damage is our third major problem, and this one is all because of that expansive clay soil we talked about. This isn't about what's inside the pipes, but the incredible pressure being put on them from the outside. This is pretty wild when you think about it. As the seasons change from wet to dry and back again, that clay soil is literally squeezing, lifting, and dropping your sewer lines. This constant movement can crack the pipes clean open or pull the joints apart. And of course, those cracks are like an open invitation for tree roots, which leads to blockages and those horrible sewer backups nobody wants to deal with. Okay, so I know this all sounds kind of bleak, but here's the good news. Knowing the root cause is the absolute first step to finding a real solution. So how do you fight back against geology? You do it by changing your whole strategy, from quick temporary fixes to smart, permanent solutions.
And this is really the whole philosophy, right? A truly good plumber in a place with these kinds of challenges isn't just going to patch the leak. They're going to figure out why it happened in the first place and make sure it doesn't happen again in 6 months.
This table just lays it out perfectly. You can pay someone to clear the same clogged drain over and over, or you can have them find the cracked pipe that the shifting soil caused and actually fix it for good. You can just replace your water heater for the third time, or you can finally install a water softener to protect the new one from the hard water that killed the last two. One is a Band-Aid. The other is the cure. The process for getting a real solution shouldn't be a mystery. It's actually pretty simple. It starts with clear communication, moves to a really thorough diagnosis to find that root cause, gives you transparent pricing up front, and then finishes with a quality repair that's tested to make sure it's done right. It's all about getting rid of the surprises. And a huge piece of the puzzle is using materials that are actually designed for the fight. Modern PEX tubing is way more resistant to scale than old copper pipes. Strong PVC can handle that soil movement better. And water softeners, they're your frontline defense. This isn't about using fancy parts, it's about using the right parts for the job. So now that you know the enemy, you can be a much better defender of your own home. The final piece is learning how to spot the early warning signs before a little problem turns into a full-blown catastrophe. So what are those subtle clues your house might be giving you? The little hints that these bigger geological forces are at work. A lot of times, they're things we just dismiss or ignore, but they can be incredibly important indicators. Just look at this list. That gurgling sound your toilet makes, it might not just be a noisy toilet, it could be a sign of pressure problems in a shifting sewer line. Low water pressure isn't just a minor annoyance. It could be your pipes telling you they're slowly getting clogged with scale. And wet spots in the yard? Classic sign of a broken underground pipe. These are the distress signals your house is sending you. So here's the big takeaway. Your home's plumbing doesn't exist in a bubble. It's in a constant, invisible battle with its environment. And understanding that environment, the water, the soil, the geology, that is the absolute key to smarter home maintenance and repairs that actually last.
And that's really the question I want to leave you with. Think about the unique challenges where you live. Is your plumbing system just a generic, one-size-fits-all installation, or has it been thoughtfully designed and built to withstand the silent, relentless pressure of the ground beneath your feet?